So some would say what I choose to do in my free time is out of the ordinary, crazy, and sometimes not even possible. Well, I'm here today to convince you that what I do is not in fact that extraordinary, and that you too can achieve your own version of impossible, or possible, if you put a few small, simple steps in place to achieve that dream. My name is Matt Grills, possibly related to Bear. Some call me Sandy, the tattoo runner, or adventures in activism, depending on what circles you might roll in. I grew up in Bundaberg, travelled, did some cool stuff, blah, 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 and here we are. Well, I guess that stuff's been kind of cool, but we have all had our fun share of adventures, right? Well, some of mine include being an exchange student in Finland for a year, getting over 50 piercings, don't worry, all above the waist, folks, being the frontman of a hardcore band, surviving a pituitary tumour at the base of my brain, currently in the process of getting most of my body tattooed. I was a policeman in town. I'm not quite sure how that happened. I got married at the age of 19 and possibly more impressively still married to the same girl. I have two beautiful girls and currently the owner of a specialty coffee shop in Bagara. And the thing I'm probably most known for is building a decent resume as a plant-based ultra-endurance athlete. Now, I'd like to state from the outset that I don't intend this to be some sort of self-loathing, eye-rolling expose into my life. However, when I go into a list of my accomplishments, I am quite proud of what I've achieved. However, I honestly believe I'm a very regular person, although possibly different in almost every way. I mean, look at me. I guess I don't look and a lot of times act like a normal person. I've lived outside the box pretty much my whole life and have a very different mindset to most I meet. I have an extremely eclectic music taste from chill folk to hardcore and metal. I've never tried alcohol, cigarettes or drugs, yet possibly look like somebody you'd keep a small child from, until I smile maybe. I'm a spiritual and emotional being, constantly trying to disassociate myself from the Aussie male stereotype. I guess I'm pretty not ordinary in almost every way. Or am I? Additionally to my random lifestyle, over the last 11 years, I've built a decent resume as an ultra-endurance athlete and run events from 5K to 200 miles or 320 kilometres, often over extremely mountainous terrain and sometimes in brutal conditions. Some of these accomplishments include a win at the inaugural Buffalo Grand Slam, 3 days of racing totaling 150 kilometres and over 9,000 metres of climbing, placing 18th at the Coast to Kosciuszko, a race from the coast to the tallest peak in Australia over 240 kilometres. I've run relay style from Bundaberg to Brisbane and back with my dad, over 500 kilometres each to raise money for charity. And the furthest I've run in one push is 320 kilometres from my home in Bagara to the Sunshine Coast to raise funds to launch our business. I've placed top 10 in a number of races from 50k to 100 miles. However, more recently, competed in Ultraman, a three-day ultra-endurance triathlon comprising of a 10-kilometre open water swim, over 420 kilometres on the bike, and finishing with a double marathon, all having not done a triathlon for over 20 years. Recently, only a month ago, I competed in the Leadville Trail 100-mile race in America, a 100-mile foot race between 3,000 and 4,000 metres of elevation with substantial climbing. All of these events have helped create a beautiful patchwork that is my life. What of it though? How does one go from a reasonably healthy young man and surviving major surgery to competing in some of Australia and the world's most toughest endurance challenges? Well, I believe having a strong list of values went a long way to me achieving my goals. Conviction, motivation, discipline, integrity, and putting daily steps in place got me to where I want to be. However, as you'll hear today, the daily hustle, grit, and perseverance could well be the keys to help you unlock your potential. I think I owe a lot of these traits and values to my parents and the way I was brought up. However, there comes a time in life where we must all decide if we want to actively live out the values taught to us or let them lay dormant and do nothing with them. I believe the penultimate stage for me was receiving news of my pituitary tumour and that subsequently kickstarting my health journey and eventually going vegan. This seemingly negative diagnosis was, after some processing, U-turned into a positive step in my seeking health. Health not only for me, but also the planet and the non-human animals we share it with. I no longer wanted to live my life in a way that didn't have meaning. Facing a serious health condition was a reminder that life is precious and not something we should take for granted. Having a list of values and having a strong list of values and motivation that was wasted without the setting of goals. I'm constantly reassessing my life and putting up new goals in my business, athletic, and personal career. Goals are a wonderful way to help you move from the ordinary to the not so ordinary. Don't live your life goalless. Set yourself a goal, take daily incremental steps towards achieving them, and you'll find yourself seeing, doing, smelling, tasting, and experiencing things you once never dreamt possible. One of the hardest men on earth, David Goggins, a Navy SEAL and incredible athlete in his own right, has a premise of becoming the uncommon among the uncommon. He constantly surrounds himself with some of the most outstanding individuals on earth, yet aims to excel even among them. This is certainly something that I strive for, and I believe if you put in place in your life, can also help you move to the next level. But what of it? How does one actually achieve this? Well, I'm about to give you 3 traits that has helped this seemingly ordinary guy go to some of the not so ordinary events I've spoken about. So here we go. It seems to be an increasingly popular hack these days, but the daily hustle is something that can help create the foundation of change. Daily incremental steps towards where you want to be. When we wanted to start our business, we took many hits along the way and ran into many brick walls. However, through the daily hustle, a kick in the pants by my lovely wife every now and then, and taking daily steps towards the dream, eventually got it done. This took a substantial amount of time. However, through hustling every day, the goal eventually became a reality. Hustling also means having a close group of friends or advisors around you and listening to them and only them when making big decisions. It means blocking out the haters, taking the advice of those in your corner, and hustling every day to put that advice into action. Unfortunately, this type of living won't always get you a lot of friends. However, if you want something bad enough, it's all about listening to those in your corner, taking those steps, and pushing on towards where you want to be. Now, I know to some of you this type of living might seem unachievable, and you might not be sure where to start. And that's the point. Just starting is the point. One simple decision today towards your dream can and will set you on a trajectory towards where you want to be. This can be as simple as if you want to be a runner, laying your clothes out the night before, when the alarm goes off, getting up, getting dressed, and just stepping out the door. This is often half the battle. Never, I repeat, never hit the snooze button. This is the ultimate enemy to the daily hustle. Set yourself a target, take daily incremental steps towards it, and you will achieve your goals. That's David Goggins. I think my slides got mixed up. We all want to hustle towards where we want to be, but some people want to make excuses and will constantly live their life making excuses for why they don't want to achieve something. Don't be one of those guys or girl. Anybody trying to achieve something in their life doesn't have time for those making excuses and not willing to change. There's nothing worse than somebody making excuses about not changing and not doing a damn thing to change it. Wake up, friends. It's time to hustle. Your ideal life is waiting for you. Now, no one said this was going to be easy. Nothing worthwhile in life comes easy. This is one of my favorite life sayings. Remember, nothing worthwhile in life, worth having, comes easy. It's going to take some determination, some nous, or as I like to call it, grit. There is nothing easy about running 100 miles, starting a business, having a family, being a single mum, or chasing your dream. It's going to take some grit. There's been a million times in my adventures as an ultra-endurance athlete that I've wanted to quit. There's nothing easy about running for up to 58 hours, over 320 kilometers, on some of the hottest November days in something like 30 years. Nothing about this makes me special, although it's about developing a mindset of grit. Something that we're not born with, but we work towards. Grit is a foundation on which we can build our life. The dictionary defines grit as courage and resolve, or strength of character. It's a steely determination to get the job done no matter what. It's about building your mental, physical, and emotional fortitude to a point where nothing will get in your way, no matter how dark it gets. Grit is a secret weapon that far too often gets overlooked. Now, this can be as simple as the words that one uses about an action they're hoping to attempt. I will never go into a race hoping or wishing that I might finish. I go in having built a mindset of grit and mental determination, knowing that I'll get the job done. It's about building your mental, emotional, and physical fortitude to a point where nothing will stop you. Grit is a secret weapon that far too often gets overlooked. Grit is also not something that we just acquire and have forever. Like the daily hustle, it takes daily, incremental steps, problem solving, and working towards a goal. Grit in one's mindset is super important. Like a muscle, it needs to be pulled, pushed, stretched, flexed, and worked in every which way, so when crunch time comes, it and we are as steady as a rock. Without grit, one cannot move from the ordinary to the extraordinary. Lastly, a trait that I've learned to apply in my life to seem to the ordinary as extraordinary is perseverance. Getting knocked down and getting back up again. In the words of Rocky Balboa about the world we live in, it's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, nobody is going to hit as hard as life, but it ain't about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward. I love that. My coach for Ultraman, Brad Dalrymple, was yelling that at me deep in the run leg of Ultraman, and it's a quote and moment in time that I'll keep with me forever. It explains perseverance perfectly. When we decided to open our business, we took many hits along the way, and no one wanted to help us financially. Perseverance is usually my absolute strong point. However, when our last-ditch effort for finance fell through, I nearly gave up and caved. If it weren't for my wife Tegan and the owner of our specialty coffee provider Kai encouraging me not to give up on the dream, it may never have become a reality. By getting knocked down, getting up, and refusing to give in, we now have a wonderful business we serve our local community in. The will to continue to persevere and not give in had a wonderful outcome in this instance. If you believe you have a goal and a dream you want to achieve, stand firm in your perseverance and do not let anyone or anything get in your way. You are bigger and better than that. Build a will of steel and undying perseverance so when rough times come, which they will, it will see you standing atop of the pile of ordinary humans. Life is a journey and a beautiful one at that. While you may see yourself as ordinary, I'm here today to tell you that you're much bigger than that. We all have dreams buried deep inside us that may have laid dormant for years. Don't die with those dreams buried in the ground. Become uncommon among the uncommon and build a life you can look back on with joy. You are all unique and can offer something special to the world of ordinary around you. Hustle every day to make that happen, build grit and mental determination, and persevere always. It will nearly always be worth it. I'm no one special. I'm just a regular guy trying to be uncommon in this beautiful life I've been blessed with. Don't waste another day, friends. Today is your day to be the best you can be, the not so ordinary.